So I've been asked to remake this video, taking the lessons I've learned. The Ruger Mini 14 started out life in 1973 as the brainchild of none other than Bill Ruger, and as well as James Sullivan. Jim Sullivan was really certainly an unsung hero in the firearms market. He was not only responsible for scaling down the Mini 14, or the scaling of the M14, the Mini 14, as well as scaling down the AR-10 to the AR-15. Now, Bill Ruger, you can see in Ruger's extensive catalog. Oh, remember, if you think a New York City billionaire cares about our freedom, you got shit between your fucking ears. You don't let me talk about that? Bye-bye, you un-American coward. There's a big club at the top, and you and I ain't in it. Now, it started life in 1973. Bill Ruger saw the big influx of 5.56 ammunition coming in from the Vietnam War and saw an opportunity to make money. And he knew the AR-15 was very taboo at the time. It wasn't popular. It wasn't going to sell. So what he very wisely did was take a conventional lock, stock, and barrel design, and at least in the lock and stock, and scale it down, the M14, and scale it down to the Mini 14. The biggest changes he did was the gas system. The gas system on the M14 is a little bit more convoluted. It's unnecessarily convoluted, and it's actually, this is a false gas tube. The gas tube on here is the gas, actually the gas port's right here in the Mini 14. So modifying the gas system, I'm going to smack my lips because I'm thinking hard. Again, if you don't like that, go fuck yourself. And then also, another important thing he did was modifying it. Instead of having a machine, a machine from cast or from billet steel, he had it cast instead, which dramatically improved the cost and also simplified things. Because if you do casting right, Ruger's excellent casting. There's no compromise in the quality of steel. It's still going to do the same thing. There's no compromisation in strength. So, there's a little brief history behind it. It did very well. It's been very popular. The AR-15 has certainly eclipsed it in the last decade or two, and for good reason. We'll get to that in a minute. So mine in particular, I've done a lot of modifications with this. I got a lot of money in this bad boy because I wanted exactly the way I wanted custom, and I did that precisely. I had it sent to Accuracy Systems out of Byers, Colorado. I had them thread the muzzle. They put on the AccuStrut stabilizer. I got a Grove Tech whatever, I'll put it in there. I got the Hogue stock modified, changed the upper hand guard, and then you got a little cheek rest on there as well. Of course, I like this little Leupold scope, this 1.5 to 4 power scope. So it looks really good. It's very well proportioned. I'm very happy with this thing. So yeah, so I've done some modifications to this. Got a pretty good penny into it. Again, I could probably get 2 or 3 ARs for what I got into this thing, but if it makes you happy, by golly, do it. So, when you pick this bad boy up, the first thing you notice is you've got a very solid piece of hardware. It just, between this Hogue stock being swelled up like this and that heavy spring, also got an improved recoil spring. That's another thing Accuracy Systems did for me. It's a very, very solid piece of hardware. You know, the magazines rock in like God intended them to. And safety, of course, is in the trigger housing. That gets some flack, but you know, you're not going to have your, you know, because you got your finger up pretty much on the trigger by the time. But you know, if you're disengaging the safety, it's rock and roll time. So yes, so I've done some modifications to this. It's got a very all-American history to it. I guess, well, John Garand was a Canadian, but it's a very, very you put it up to your pretty face, and everything just falls into place. And you know, hitting things out, I can hit I can put the 12-inch dinger at 400 yards with this, you know, consistently off a bench. I'm not standing up. I'm not an expert marksman, but I like to think I'm a little better than the average bear. But I digress. So, what does this bring to the table that the AR-15 does not? Absolutely nothing. The AR-15, I would argue, is superior in just about every way. You could argue the cows come home about reliability. It's certainly more accurate out of the box. But you know, it basically all boils down to preference. If you want a conventional lock and stock rifle that's semi-automatic. It's basically this or the Keltec SU-16. I wouldn't mind trying one of those out. They definitely skyrocketed. But basically, the reason you choose this over an AR-15 is because you want a conventional lock and stock, rifle versus the tactical pistol grip. But of course, I think the AR-15 is. You could make the argument that is objectively superior. It's lighter. Again, you can talk about the reliability. It's going to be better in full auto with the straight line construction. But yeah, I really like this thing. I would happily buy it again. And so that's my opinion on the Mini 14. It's a scaled down M14. It's very reliable. It's very fun. But if you're speaking coming from purely pragmatic perspective, I would encourage you to get an AR-15. But my personal preference, I like this thing. Yeah. Peace.